everybody, welcome back to the third iteration of our Comic-Con coverage on the Awesome Sunday Show. Connor speaking.
And Pat.
Pat, this is part 3.
This is part 3.
Yeah.
There usually aren't a lot of good part 3s, but this is going to be a good part 3.
What are some good part 3s? Quick little recap before we actually get into the episode. What are, like, Godfather part 3 is not up there.
Fuck no.
No. But Captain America Civil War,
Yes.
that's a part 3.
Definitely. Return of the Jedi.
That's a great part 3 or a part 6. Depending how you look at it.
Technically, at first, it was a part 3.
Yeah.
And it's still part 3 of another trilogy, so...
Good point.
And if you want to get technical, I mean, not that it's really great, but Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, is the best of that trilogy.
True.
Not that it's saying much, but still.
Or your favorite movie, Matrix Reload... what's the third one called again? Revolutions.
Is it Revolutions or Reloaded? I don't even know. Well, that's all right because your favorite... Is Jurassic Park The Lost World the third one?
No, it's the second one. But the second one, honestly, is the worst. Yeah, it's Matrix Revolutions. The second one is honestly...
See, you have it, so how could it be mine?
Because I bought the 3 combo pack for Blu-ray because I wanted to watch the first Matrix. But I think The Lost World is worse than Jurassic Park 3, even though Jurassic Park 3 is much more stupid than the second one. Reason being is because Jurassic Park 3 is literally under an hour and a half, whereas The Lost World is like almost 3 hours.
Yeah.
So like you're just sitting through like the most boring fucking movie ever.
Okay, well they're your friends.
No, you like them. You put them on at my house.
It was on your continue watching. Damien was there. He knows.
No, I don't believe it. Okay, so anyway, part 3 of Awesome Sunday Show Comic-Con coverage. We are going now into the small screen, but small in size, but not small in meaning.
Okay.
All right.
If you want to go like that,
Yeah.
sure.
It's okay. But now that
Hey, listen, size doesn't matter, right?
doesn't matter.
Is that what you've
Coming
been
from
told
2
a lot?
Irishmen.
Yeah.
So let's get into the television aspect. I want to start with Marvel TV. Then we'll get into DC television.
Which is funny because right before we started this, you said let's start with DC.
I did say let's start with DC?
Yeah. Well, we can start with
No,
Marvel.
let's start with DC. I meant to say let's start with DC. It's okay. I only got a text message, was looking down and wasn't paying attention to what I was saying.
That's fine. Okay, let's start with DC, Connor. Why don't you pick it up?
All right. Well, let's start with obviously the best show from the CW, the DC television universe, The Flash, which had a
Correct.
really great trailer.
Correct. It definitely did, for sure. Are you going to say anything? Or you're just
Oh,
gonna
I
sit
thought
there?
you were gonna. No, I thought you were saying something. No, I was actually just looking at something. I was trying to find a release date, but no, yeah, the trailer looks fantastic. It's the Flashpoint Paradox.
Yes.
what
That's actually the title of the first episode.
Yeah. And that's what the season is taking inspiration from. Especially in the trailer, you see everything going to normal. He's not the Flash at certain aspects. His mother's alive. He barely really knows Joe at all.
Well, his mom is alive, and his dad's not in prison, and his dad's alive.
Yeah.
You know, considering what happened in season 2, it's not that he
Spoilers.
doesn't. Yeah, it's not that he doesn't know Joe at all. It's that Joe doesn't know him at all.
True.
See, all of Barry's memories from the original timeline stayed, but everyone else is completely new.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you for pointing that out. I knew that. I didn't explain that, and I would have talked as if
Because you're an
someone did
idiot.
it.
We know.
I know I'm an idiot. Iris barely knows him.
Yeah, just remembers him like slightly from like they were in like elementary school together or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much nobody remembers Barry the way he was except for the Reverse Flash.
Eobard Thawne.
And the reason for that is because he was aware of the timeline, the change in the timeline since he's from the future. That and Barry stopping him is what completely changed the timeline anyway.
Yep.
So he witnessed everything change along from what I'm assuming Barry will describe to him through their talks.
It was very interesting trailer. We saw a new Flash, Wally West.
We did. Wally West is the new Flash
I love it.
of this Flashpoint timeline. His costume looks sweet.
It's great. It's a great costume. He looks good. if I'm not mistaken, it just looks better. I feel like I don't know if they got a bigger budget or what's going on. I mean, we didn't see a lot of effects that much. We
Yeah.
only saw some.
Minimal.
But granted, it is a trailer. They may have just showed off the best. But I think it looks great, man.
It does look great.
Grant Gustin is Gustin, sorry. He is the Flash to me.
Yeah, he's perfect Barry Allen.
Mm-hmm.
Which is not a knock against Ezra Miller, because Ezra Miller's a very talented actor. I'm sure he's going to do a great job as Barry Allen. But in the trailer that they showed off for Justice League, he reminded me more of Wally West, like Golden Age, Silver Age Wally West.
Yeah.
And like Justice League show Wally West. But he's still Barry Allen. But Grant Gustin is my Barry Allen. He's my Flash.
Mine too.
Yeah, so along with seeing Wally in full suit, we see Barry like kind of running towards something, and then Wally shows up, and it's this other speedster in this black suit. Now we know the main villain is not supposed to be a speedster, like the main villain of the season. Still don't know who that is yet, but the producers have said that it's not going to be a speedster.
That's cool.
Good. And that's not to say that evil speedsters won't be in the season. You can't do Flash without evil speedsters. Like,
No.
that's just how it is. We don't know who that speedster is, but I kind of think it might be like, given the design like of his cowl and his helmet type thing, not necessarily the rest of the uniform, like the suit, but it reminds me of Johnny Quick of the Earth 3 Crime Syndicate.
Okay.
Just all black instead of like red, yellow, and blue.
Yeah. No, you definitely have a point there as far as look wise.
It may not be him, but that's what he kind of looks like, and maybe him. No word on him, but I think that scene takes place in the first episode. So we'll find out pretty quick. No pun intended. So he could either be Johnny Quick or another evil speedster, and he could only be part of the Flashpoint timeline.
Yeah.
And not, the normal timeline. He may not exist or have powers in the normal timeline. And maybe he is just the Earth 1 version of it, or whatever. He's not necessarily going to be from Earth 3 as he normally is in like comics and stuff.
Yeah, from Crisis and everything.
Yeah. So yeah, interested to see who he is. Some other stuff that we find out about this. It's a time jump. Like there's a time jump between the ending of season 2 and where this one picks up. I think I saw somewhere it's like maybe a year. Or like it's at least 6 months, so it's between 6 months and a year. I don't remember
From season 2 to season 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember the exact amount of time, but it's something like that. So when we meet up, like when the season starts again, Barry will have been living that life for that much time. Apparently.
Okay.
We'll see, unless he's picking up,
which is smart because that way it kind of goes into like him building relationships already. Like he may already have tried to build a relationship with Iris, or he may have already tried to build a relationship back with Cisco and everything like that. Right. I know in the trailer, like you kind of see him meeting them for the first time, but it's still kind of vague.
Yeah.
There's a lot that can come from it.
Yeah, exactly. We don't know, like it's not set in stone. I mean, those parts could be like before the time jump, like could be something fresh and then time jump happens. Could be. I'm not too sure, but that's something to keep in mind. And the producers have said, Greg Berlanti did say that everything that happens in Flashpoint will have a ripple effect throughout the entire season.
Okay.
Which is good because Flashpoint is a major deal. It alters the entire timeline and the history that
Batman changes because of it.
Exactly. Batman changes completely. There is
Thomas
Bruce
Wayne.
It's Thomas Wayne.
Yeah.
And I wonder, since they can't do Batman on the CW, if instead they're going to replace that with Green Arrow and have Oliver Queen be dead, but his dad, Robert Queen, be the Green Arrow.
That would be smart.
It would be smart.
Because Arrow is kind of the Batman of that universe.
He is. And I think that they would need to include that in their adaptation of Flashpoint, because it's a big part of the Flashpoint storyline. Because going to Thomas Wayne not only does we don't know if Barry's going to still have his powers in this alter timeline. Because in the comic and the animated movie, at first he doesn't have his powers. Like when the new timeline starts and he has to recreate the accident to get the powers, and he does that with Thomas Wayne's help.
Right. I mean, it took a little while.
Yeah, it took a couple of attempts, and a lot of pain, but it ended up working. So you would need that, and he helped him figure out what he has to do to correct the situation, and what needs to be. He kind of guides him through it,
right,
in a way, and helps him. And I think that they need something like that, like a hero based thing. I would assume they should replace Batman and Thomas Wayne with the Queen family instead.
Yeah, if they have to, kind of. If they try to put... Well, they can't. They can't use anything Batman.
No,
so
exactly.
They would have to do something like that if they choose... If they're not going to do it with the Arrow, with Green Arrow that way, then they shouldn't do it at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're right. I agree. And in the trailer, we saw Eobard Thawne, the Reverse Flash, locked up in a cell in what looked like a fucking warehouse, and he made a really good point, because that's very villainous of Barry. Reverse Flash is now who's the villain?
Yeah,
Barry's doing a really villainous thing, and
he did something very selfish.
He did something very selfish, and he's making somebody else, and he's holding a hostage. He's holding him hostage, even though, yes, Reverse Flash was going to murder his mom, stab her through the heart, but Barry literally changed the fabric of time to suit his own personal desire. Even though I completely understand when he came from, if I had the power to go back and save my mom, God forbid something like that happened, I would absolutely do it.
Yeah.
But, it has a huge negative consequence. And Barry knows that. Barry messed with time, in the first two seasons.
He never learned his lesson.
And nothing good came of it. And, he really should have learned from the season finale, the Flash that told him, hey, don't stop, don't save her. Because that Flash clearly is from a post-Flashpoint time. So I think that the Barry that we will start the season with is going to end up being that Barry.
Okay.
So there were 3 Flashes there that night.
Yeah.
There was season 1 Barry who went back in time. There was Barry who closed Flashpoint. And then the Barry who told him not to go out and save her was post Flashpoint Barry.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
As far as when it comes, and we'll see it when October when it comes back.
Yeah, first week of October. Fucking hyped. Some other things. Clearly, Barry has very different dynamics with all our characters. And going back to the Reverse Flash, I wonder if they don't do it with substituting Green Arrow. I mean, Reverse Flash still was in the Flashpoint timelines in the animation and comic book, but he wasn't captured. So maybe he'll have to do some of that guiding to Barry so he can get himself free.
Okay.
Maybe because that event has to happen in order to repair the timeline. Eobard has to kill Barry's mom in order to repair the timeline.
So there's going to be a point where Barry has to let Eobard kill his mom.
He's going to realize that it has to happen. Which that will come up at some point in the season. I think it would be
it'll probably be
the
mid-season finale.
Yeah, something like that maybe. Or another thing they could do, because I know this was they could use Jay Garrick instead. because the producers have said that the relationship and dynamic between Barry and Jay is going to be explored a lot, which is good because we were both angry with how we thought that Jay Garrick was being handled until it turns out that that wasn't the real Jay Garrick.
Yeah, it's
at
Hunter
the time.
Zolomon.
It's Hunter Zolomon, and then we got John Wesley Shipp as Jay Garrick. So I want to see him more.
Yes.
And I'm excited to see like how their dynamic grows, and I wonder if he'll be aware. Well, I mean, like if however he comes back to Earth 1, or if Barry ends up going to Earth 3. I wonder how they're going to do that. Might still be some breaches there. Who knows?
Yeah.
Or he's going to have to go to Earth 2 to go to Earth 3.
Oh gosh, dude.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll see. But I know that dynamic is going to be explored. I wonder in what way. Harrison Wells is going to be back. Tom Cavanaugh is a series regular again.
Yeah, he needs to stay because Tom Cavanaugh is like he's a huge element of the show.
He is.
He makes the show work in a lot of different ways.
Yes.
And he's a great actor as far as like when it comes from what he did in season 1 to what he does in season 2.
Mm-hmm.
And like even though he is kind of the same person, he what's different
It's still
is
very different.
it's still very different in a lot of subtleties as far as like his demeanor and his the way he talks and the way he solves things and how he helps and like what his goals are, but like yet his like he kind of has like the same voice
Yeah.
and like the same, and I know it's because of the same actor, but what I mean by that is the same tone. He has the same like way with people,
Right.
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. And you know what? No disrespect to any of the other actors on the show. He's probably the best actor on the show.
Yeah,
Talent-wise. And that's not a knock against any of the other ones.
They're all great.
They're all great. I would say it would go Tom Cavanaugh, then Jesse L. Martin in terms of full talent, and then like probably Grant or something. But yeah, so we'll probably see him actually as two different versions of Harrison Wells. Earth 2 Harrison Wells because his daughter Jessie Quick is going to appear several times. I don't think she's going to be a series regular, but she's going to appear several times. And then since Eobard never got to steal Harrison Wells' life force or whatever the hell that process was called, I think we'll see the original Earth 1 Harrison Wells as well.
I think. Do you think this would be over the entire season, or do you think it's going to build up to a finale as far as when it comes to that?
Seeing two different Harrison Wells?
Yeah.
I think early on we'll see the original Harrison Wells of Earth 1.
Okay.
Before he was, the Reverse Flash did whatever he did and took over his identity. And then when Barry realizes he needs to fix the timeline, he'll get to Earth 2 and meet Earth 2 Harrison Wells in order to come up with ideas on how to fix it or something. I think that's what it'll be. It'll be broken down to a point. Like maybe we'll see Earth 1 Harrison Wells say the first 5 to 9 episodes, like the first half of the season.
Okay.
And starting mid-season finale or something, he'll work with Harrison Wells of Earth 2 or even earlier. But yeah, we'll see both. I'm pretty positive.
All right.
It would make sense. Another thing to notice in the Flash trailer, Cisco's the richest person in the world.
Yeah. Suddenly
The richest person in the world. And he's acting like a mega douche.
Yeah, and I love the way that they always make Cisco like in alternate dimensions or timelines like a dick or a villain because he's like he's probably the nicest guy on Earth 1.
Yeah, seriously. But yeah, he's funny. Like his line is there any better way to get to work than a helicopter?
Yeah.
Like that's great. And it's funny because Barry shows up there and Wally is there. So I think Cisco is going to be helping out Wally West Flash.
Okay.
I'm thinking like probably
So
designing the suit again.
Still a good guy, just
Still
not
a good guy. Just a dickish good guy.
Okay, I like those kind of good guys.
So I think he's still going to be working with a Flash, just not Barry.
Yeah.
Let's see. And apparently it's going to affect the other TV shows in the CW universe, which it should. And only makes sense because they're all in the same universe.
Yeah. It would be weird if it didn't.
And apparently that's going to be answered early on, although I saw somebody say that it's going to be answered through Felicity, which fuck that because she's Felicity from Arrow is currently one of the worst characters on TV.
Well, let's transition to Arrow then. As far as, is there things you want to bring up about Flash still, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Just before we get to that, Tom Felton, who everybody knows as Draco Malfoy, and he was also in Planet of the newest reboot of Planet of the Apes, is going to play a character named Julian Dorn, who is suspicious of Barry, works as another like CSI for Central City Police Department, and he's possibly a villain that goes by Dr. Alchemy's secret identity. No confirmation on that, but that's like what it seems like he's going to be. But there will be a Dr. Alchemy, and he's going to be voiced by Jigsaw himself, Tobin Bell.
That's great.
Which is sweet.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Still no word on Mirror Master. Still holding out hope that we'll see him.
Yeah, he's gonna come around soon.
He has to.
Yeah.
Because he's very important in the Rogues, and he's got some cool stuff going on with him. We're going to see Gorilla Grodd again for sure, and I'm hoping for some Gorilla City involvement.
Yes.
Still no official word of who the big bad of the season is going to be. But for the first, part of it, it's going to be Barry because he fucked up the timeline.
Yeah. He is his own villain here.
Yeah, now getting into Arrow. Another lackluster trailer. Nothing special about it, really. We see some new vigilantes in Wild Dog, and then Curtis, pre-Mr. Terrific, wants to train to become a vigilante. Apparently Ragman's going to be in there, but I don't know if he's going to be good or bad. The villain is apparently a result of Oliver's actions from season 1 on. Apparently the rumor is that it's Prometheus, but like a bastardized version of this character Prometheus, which people are flipping their shit off. I don't really know a lot about,
or a bad way.
Bad way. I don't really know a lot about Prometheus, but I have no doubt that Arrow will find a way to fuck him up because they fuck up everybody. They fucking ruined Green Arrow himself, especially with Felicity and fucking Black Canary.
Dude, you really hate this show.
I do, and I used to love the shit out of it. See in the trailer, another villain posing as Green Arrow, except covered in a mask, which kind of looks like Ragman's mask. Oliver's new suit looks like a combination of his one from the first 3 seasons and the one he had last season. And then, also important to Arrow, Katie Cassidy got what is now known as the Wentworth Miller deal, I'm going to call it, which is like she got a contract that expands to each of the CW shows.
Okay.
Like the CW
all right.
Flareoverse shows, which is weird considering she's dead.
Yeah.
Unless she comes back as Black Siren on The Flash again or something. John Barrowman actually also got that deal, which is going to tie into Legends of Tomorrow, so we'll get to that in a second. And speaking of Katie Cassidy, her character Laurel at the end of last season, in her episode that she died in, asked Oliver to promise her something, and then they cut away from that. And then the showrunner, Mark Guggenheim, who fuck him, he ruined the show, said, oh yeah, like the promise is great, you'll learn about it in season 5. She says it in the trailer, promise me, like your instinct is to go in alone, promise me you won't do that. That's the major promise so far coming from that trailer. If that's it, then the show will be even more fucking pathetic than it already has become.
That's kind of funny that that's it.
They ran that show into the ground. Fuck that. Now, speaking of John Barrowman, let's get into Legends of Tomorrow, because his universe, CW universe deal applies to this.
Okay.
So, Connor, I know you didn't watch Legends of Tomorrow.
No.
You should. For the most part, it was good.
I've heard mixed things, though.
For the most part, it was good. There were several bad episodes, but for the most part, it was good.
All right.
Some of the characters were good. Some of them were shit.
I'll finish it because I'm like I watched like 2 episodes.
Yeah.
So what is there, like 8, 10,
16?
Okay.
But the reason you're going to want to watch that is because of what's going to happen in season 2.
Okay. So
which I showed you.
Yeah.
Which is cool. But before we get to those 2 big things, the major thing you need to know from the trailer is if you watched the end of last season, there's no more Time Masters who, protected the timeline.
Right.
So now the team has to, because time travelers are going to take advantage of it for, to get rich, to destroy things, kill people,
For any personal
alter the
gain.
timeline. Yeah, for personal gain or terrorist attacks. So now it's up to that Legends team to protect the timeline.
Okay.
And 2 major groups are going to be a part of this season. One good group, one bad. Let's start with the good group first. We saw one member of them in the season finale, Our Man. It is the Justice Society of America.
There we go.
Pretty great.
That is pretty sweet.
Which is, like a Justice League
Golden
offshoot.
Age. Yeah.
Golden
Not-
Age Justice League kind
of thing. Yeah. Not exactly.
Not exactly, but something like that.
Yeah.
So aside from Our Man, some confirmed members are Stargirl, Obsidian, Dr. Midnight, Commander Steel.
Stargirl's. Yeah. All these guys are kind of like B-level superheroes, but they're fun.
Yeah.
Like Stargirl, for example. I
Yeah.
think the only the last other medium besides a comic book I remember her being, I think, is Justice League Unlimited. Is that the right? Am I thinking of the right person?
She was in the background in some of that. She
Yeah.
might have had some screen time in one episode, but I remember seeing like how they had that that dining hall thing.
I hope I'm not mixing it up with someone else.
Could be. And then Vixen, but not the Vixen who appeared last season on Arrow, because that actress had other commitments that she couldn't be a part of this season.
Yeah.
Which is whatever, because that Vixen was kind of crappy, but that's also because of poor writing.
You can't blame that on the actor all the
No,
time.
you can't. There's only so much you could do with a terrible script.
Yeah.
Terrible written things. And the other thing, which I'm actually probably more excited about.
Yeah. No, Stargirl. I'm sorry. Go back to Stargirl. She was in the episode of Justice League Unlimited where General Iving takes the serum and becomes like that giant Hulk thing.
Okay. Yeah.
She's actually a star in that episode.
Okay.
I thought I recognized her from back there.
And the other thing, which I'm probably just excited, if not more excited about than the Justice Society of America, is the Legion of Doom,
Yeah.
which is awesome. Legion of Doom has had many iterations, as had any
I imagine this
hero
being,
or evil team.
I imagine this being a very different iteration of the Legion of Doom,
yes.
which is fine. That's okay. They're
know-
they're only allowed to do certain things.
Exactly. And right now we have confirmed members of some villains we've already seen. Damien Dark, which is good because Neil McDonough was so fucking good. With such, as bad as the writing was, he actually, killed it with what he was given.
Right.
Then we got Malcolm Merlyn, aka John Barrowman, who this is part of his universe deal. So he's going to be on Arrow, Flash, and he's going to be a main villain of Legends of Tomorrow, which is sweet because
Yeah.
John Barrowman's the man. Captain Cold, who, if you remember from Legends at the end of the season, sacrificed himself. But since the timeline is messed up and there will be time travelers, I guess, because Wentworth Miller was the first to sign this universe deal that he'll appear on all the shows. And so I guess now some time travel thing is going to bring him back into the fold, and he's going to turn against the Legends. But if he's from earlier in time than when Legends started in 2016, then he's not even going to know about that. And then another one. This one is kind of more interesting given his position currently and what Flash Season 3 he'll start out as. Versus Flash, Abart Dawn. It's a pretty solid lineup of villains.
Yeah, it's a great lineup.
I just, I'm interested to see how each of them is going to fit into that lineup timeline-wise and, which points in time they're going to come from and gather together to, form this Legion of Doom.
Yeah, that would be an interesting dynamic in order to follow, in order to get the story across. I mean, 16 episodes is kind of short for a CW season because how many episodes are in Flash? It's like 22.
22, 23.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if the new season of Legends is going to have a larger episode order. Let me see. Because I know last season it was because it was originally supposed to be a mid-season replacement, like when Flash and Arrow went on break.
Mm-hmm.
And then they gave it some, a larger number. Let's see. It doesn't say. Why would they not have? Regardless, all right, it's gonna be at least 16 episodes, if not 23 again, or 23 like normal. Whatever. Anyway, yeah, that pretty much covers that. I'm hoping that this season of Legends is overall consistently better than last seasons of Legends. Legends had some really good episodes last season, but there was a stretch here and there where it kind of was
That's what I heard.
And one of my biggest problems with it, which I'm glad so far, unless it's changed, was that Hawkman and Hawkgirl were terribly written, and that the relationship between Hawkgirl and Ray Palmer, the Atom, was so heavy-handed and forced that it was annoying. Like, that was one of my biggest, probably the thing I liked the least about last season. So I honestly don't want Hawkgirl back because of how bad they wrote her.
Yeah.
And I hope there's no, like, shitty, crappy, like, poor decision relationship
Bring her
like
back.
that
Yeah.
on this season, even though probably will. Another cameo that we're actually going to see on Legends is Albert Einstein, apparently,
That's cool.
which is cool. And we're going to see Jonah Hex again, which is awesome because they got the same actor coming back to play him. And that guy did excellent as Jonah Hex in that one episode last season.
I have to watch it.
Yeah. So, and we could talk about a little bit about Supergirl. Supergirl is now on the CW.
Yeah, but that's old news.
Yeah. But they cast a Superman for it.
How do you like the way he looks?
The guy himself is kind of goofy looking.
Yeah, I thought that too. It was like kind of
That the poster that they released was really crappily done, but then I saw a set image of him, and it looks better. Like the suit looks better, but he's kind of just like a goofy looking guy.
Yeah, he looks.
His face is like his head is kind of like oddly shaped.
He's kind of like the Superman I expect to see like in front of the Bazaar ride at Great Adventure.
Yeah.
Like come on this ride. Like I don't know. It looks
Yeah.
goofy. I
It does look
completely
goofy.
agree.
Maybe it'll look better, once it's in production or like throughout the season. I don't know. I don't know how much is going to be in it. I mean, they really couldn't put off actually showing a Superman longer. They already pushed it off way longer than they should have last season.
Yeah, like way too long.
He does kind of look like a bitch though, next to Supergirl.
Yeah,
He does. And you know what? Given how they kind of talked about him last season, I think he is kind of like nerfed in this, which is fine because it's Supergirl show. Like you got Superman and
yeah.
the
But then you have
movies.
Martian Manhunter too.
Yeah. As long as they beef up Martian Manhunter to get him more screen time as Martian Manhunter, explore how strong he is, that'd be sweet. But really, there's not too much known about, like, they haven't really announced too much about Supergirl Season 2. It will be part of this huge 4-night crossover, which will be Flash, Supergirl, Arrow, Legends. A 4-night crossover. That's going to be awesome.
That's big.
That's huge.
That's really big.
That's what she said. Not about you, though.
That's what Melissa Benoist said about me.
Yeah, you wish.
Dude, oh my gosh. All right. Sorry if you're listening to this, Melissa.
Yeah, I'm sure she is. Yeah, so it's going to be huge. I want to see what they're going to do with that. Maybe it's going to be, like, fixing the timeline related. I don't know. I think, like, I'm pretty sure that the Legends of Tomorrow team, like Rip Hunter, will have some involvement with Barry, like, fixing the timeline. Since they're the protectors of the timeline, and
They probably might go after him.
they might like be like, "Yo, dude, what the fuck did you do?
Yeah.
What are you, an idiot?" And then because they're not affected by the timeline because the timeline changed because they're traveling outside of the time stream.
Right.
Like time is like the way they're doing it. Like say, time is like the time stream is like a creek, and you're standing over a little bridge over it.
Okay.
That's how they are, because they're not staying at one point in time because they're consistently traveling through it.
Okay.
So yeah, so they won't actually be affected by it. So which is why, like, I think that they'll end up, whatever, getting involved. And I don't know if like the 4-part crossover is going to involve that timeline at all, or if it's going to have something to do with like bringing Supergirl to Earth 1, like converging those two Earths. because remember, Supergirl is on a different Earth, even though now she's part of the CW universe.
Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna fix that.
Yeah, they'll hopefully they find a way that isn't completely stupid.
Right. They might.
And one small thing that I want to touch upon is the new Justice League animated show, Justice League Action. Did you see the trailer for it?
No, I did not see a trailer for that. I
Don't know how I feel about it.
I know I've heard of it, and
Yeah.
it looks kind of kiddie.
I don't like the art style. The art style is what the Teen Titans Go art style is.
Yes.
I don't like it at all.
I don't like Teen Titans. Well, I don't like Teen Titans Go because that is a show for children.
Yeah.
Like it's not. I'm sure it's a fine show.
Yeah.
Like in general. I mean, it's been on for a little while now.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like, all right, well, I'm 25. Yeah.
And Justice League Action, it's going to be like 15-minute episodes. Some of the major characters are in there. Didn't see in the trailer, you see like Firestorm. Apparently, he's going to be one of the major characters now. And like the confirmed roster is very different from what I expected, and some names were still left off it. But the good things, I'm going to give it a shot, especially because Kevin Conroy's back as Batman and Mark Hamill's back as Joker.
Yeah.
That's why I'm going to give it a shot. But other than that,
That's the only reason why
I'm
I
still
would
not
too.
I'm still not sold on it. But moving on, let's go to the other major company and their TV shows.
Marvel.
Marvel. Connor, why don't you start with the show that's coming up next, Luke Cage?
Luke Cage, Hero for Hire. I am pumped for this show. Okay, so historically speaking, Luke Cage is the first black superhero to really get his own comic book. And he came around a time where like blaxploitation movies were kind of the thing to come out.
Yeah, he kind of like was created like out of that.
Yeah,
almost.
Just like Iron Fist was created out of the kung fu craze that came around in the 1970s as well. So they're a product of their environment of the time. And Luke Cage he didn't evolve over time. He kind of just adapted when he became popular again.
Yeah.
And I love the actor they got to play him.
Mike Coulter.
Yeah, he is
Excellent choice.
excellent choice.
Just another example of Marvel's casting being wonderful.
Yeah, it's insane how just on point they are. Like 99% of the time, they just nail it. And the trailer was great. And my favorite part about the trailer, we'll get into it, is he's impenetrable. Luke Cage has superhuman strength, and as far as
skin.
Yeah, as far as he knows, nothing can penetrate his skin. Nothing. So he like picks up a door and like uses it as a shield.
Yeah.
And like I'm thinking like that's stupid, but then I'm like, yeah, this is Marvel on Netflix. They have to have a funny explanation. I'm thinking like maybe he didn't want to ruin his sweatshirt or something, or
Well, at the end of Daredevil season 2, with that like right at the end when they had that little clip, that little preview, he goes, I guess you guys haven't heard of me. They shoot him. He goes, man, I'm sick of buying new clothes all the time.
yeah,
Yeah, so that could be why.
that's probably it.
Yeah, but that was great. And then the part where he punches through the drywall and rips out a rebar was badass.
That was awesome.
Like the fights in this look great. I'm really excited for Luke Cage.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great series. And like as much as I love The Flash on CW, one of my favorite TV shows that's running right now. My major criticism of those shows is how long they run for. Mm-hmm. I'm not like, dude, like 23 episodes. Are you kidding me? Like, get your story across. One a thing that I think Marvel does better is their time management with television shows. It's what, 10 episodes?
13
episodes, and that's perfect. That's half. That's like I feel like there's no filler within the episodes.
But it also has to do with that. Almost all of Netflix's original shows are 13 episodes. There are some that are 6, some are 8. But like House of Cards,
Yeah,
BoJack, Orange is the New Black stuff, all 13 episodes.
yeah, and I
But
don't
like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is 23 episodes, and that's Marvel. So I think it might have to do with the partnership with Netflix.
but then that's on Netflix then, and I thank Netflix for that, because it's just, again, as much as I love Flash, like you have to admit there are some episodes in both seasons that don't need to exist.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Like, just they don't need to be there.
You're right, and there's some with Agents of Shield. You're right.
Yeah,
I'm not disagreeing with that. Although I do like 23 episodes because I want to see more and more. Even though the Netflix model of 13 episodes has been more coherent and
Yeah,
no filler.
no filler.
It works.
No
but,
goddamn filler in any of those series on
See-
Netflix. Jessica Jones. I imagine if Jessica Jones was 26 episodes.
I don't know. I mean, I would have loved more David Tennant.
Yeah, I mean, I could have just watched him. Still, it just Jessica Jones was almost I don't want to say again. There's no such thing as a perfect movie. There's no such thing as a perfect TV series. But it was perfectly paced the whole time that series.
Yeah.
I was engaged from episode 1 to 12, 13 or whatever. It was excellent. It was excellent.
Mm-hmm.
It was excellent. And if Marvel keeps this train going with their Netflix series, I think they might be better critically overall than their movie series. I mean, look at Jessica Jones and Daredevil season 1 and 2. Even though Daredevil season 2 wasn't highly as critically praised as the first one, it still wasn't panned by any means.
No, it's still certified fresh.
Yeah. And yeah, it's Luke Cage. What else can I say? He's badass, man.
He is badass. This series is going to be really badass, and I'm really, really excited. So, some of the things about it. One of my favorite parts about it, even before we see anything really, is that the title of every episode is a Gang Starr song.
Wait, really?
Yeah, every single episode is titled after a Gang Starr song. How funny is that?
That is kind of neat.
Yeah, it's cool. The showrunner has said that there's gonna be some hip hop influence. There's gonna be some racial undertones, exploration of that, which I get.
Well, that
because
is Luke Cage, though.
That is Luke Cage. That's what he's always been doing.
Luke
there's
Cage-
gonna be some elements of blaxploitation.
Yeah, Luke Cage in the original comics. Sometimes he goes from either being a bad guy that goes straight, or a guy that was always kind of straight and fell into a bad crowd. In the original, he was a black man in New York City that tried to go straight and wanted to start to do the right thing, but his friend got deeper into crime and pretty much foiled him into doing something that he didn't want to do. And then he got into prison. And then what happened was in prison he signed on to do an experiment that would give him parole. But that experiment gave him the impenetrable skin and superhuman strength.
Right, and he even says that in Jessica Jones. That was his origin. That's how he got his powers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's going to be elements of that. And it's not that it's funny, but it's appropriate, I guess, or it's just really good timing given, some of the racial the huge racial issues that have been going on and the cop killings and stuff.
Yeah, whether the cop killings and the killings of the black men in America that have made headlines and everything like that. I think the show might strike a chord. I hope in the show that they somehow incorporate that into the show, as far as whether I agree with the message or not, at least send a message.
Yeah, you know what? It'll be appropriate.
Yeah,
given
exactly.
What, the content of the show is going to be anyway.
Because there's a lot of stuff I see. I'm well, I don't really agree with what you're saying, but I'm happy you're saying it.
As long as it's not shoving it down your throat.
And that goes with stuff I agree with.
Yeah,
don't shove it down my throat.
You don't want anything so heavy-handed and shoved down.
Because then it just takes away from the story.
Yeah, you could really say you could say this either way. Opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one. I don't need another. I have one. I don't need another. Or, you could really say this. Insert whatever here, but you could do opinion. Your opinion is like a penis. I don't need it shoved down my throat, or don't want it shoved down my throat, or something like that.
That's not what you usually say. But.
Only to certain people, but yeah. Regardless, yeah. So it it's kind of coming out at the right time, I guess. And I think that they thought of that while writing it, aside from just like the history around Luke Cage and like the stuff he did have to deal with. Some other characters that are going to appear. Misty Knight is going to be his love interest. Claire Temple, played by Rosario Dawson, is going to be in it again, probably for like an episode or two, just to keep that Netflix connection going.
Yeah. There's got to be a television universe there.
Yeah. I don't think that we're going to see Jessica Jones.
No, I don't think so either. And I think that would, because there's such a strong story and such a, like, between Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, that I feel like whatever story they're trying to tell in this first season of Luke Cage is gonna take away.
Yeah.
If they add in Jessica Jones, because there's just way too much there.
Right.
If they find a way to bring it in and do it right, then hell yeah, do it. But I don't think it's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Oh, sorry about that. Some advertisement just popped up.
Come on, Pat.
Sorry.
Well, we don't have advertisements yet, do we?
No, we don't. But some other things like two minor villains will be Shades Alvarez and Willis Stryker, aka Diamondback.
Okay.
And then the main villain, I believe, is Cornell Stokes, aka Cottonmouth. He's like the major crime boss of Harlem. He's being played by the actor who plays Remy on House of Cards. I don't know how to say his name because it's like a Muslim name, I think, or some African name. And I don't want to try and butcher it. But
because you would be a racist if you did.
Well, I just don't want to look like an asshole.
Exactly.
But
I'm just...
yes, the guy who plays Remy on House of Cards, very good actor, is going to play Cottonmouth. Now, Cottonmouth and Diamondback are part of like the Serpent Society in the comics. But I believe in the Netflix show that they won't have those sort of powers or enhancements. But they don't need it to be intimidating. They might have, some maybe like a little bit super strength or some sort of like weaponized things. But they're not going to be like hardcore snake type things.
No.
It's just like their nicknames are based off different types of snakes. And I'm actually excited for this because in one scene in the trailer you see Remy standing over a dude just like he's covered in blood and you see blood along the wall like he just beat the fuck out of somebody. It's going to be cool. And early on you see interaction between Luke Cage and him.
Yes.
And so I'm really interested to see that sort of conflict. And because like I never read a lot of Luke Cage. I read him mostly in like team-based things, like in the Defenders.
That's where I got him
Heroes
mostly
for Hire,
from.
or Avengers, Civil War, whatever.
Also, Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes on Disney XD. There's a lot of stuff but he's always been a very interesting character. I've always done more research on him. There's a lot of videos on. I mean, he's culturally significant as a superhero.
Very much. And again, this is another like how we mentioned Wonder Woman as the first female superhero movie is a big deal. Luke Cage as the first solo black superhero show, even though it's not a movie, is still a big deal.
It is a big deal. Very big deal.
Yeah, and it's great. I think it's great. Not to mention that the character is great. The actor who plays him, Mike Coulter, is great as Luke Cage.
The elements behind him is supporting him very well.
Yes. Moving on to the next Netflix show.
Fucking Iron Fist.
Iron Fist.
So
this was a shorter trailer. It was like
it was not.
I wouldn't.
It's not a trailer. It's a teaser.
It's like under a minute. He doesn't even say a word. But it starts
looks cool.
with he does. We see a young Danny Rand in a plane crash, and then he's rescued by these monks from Kowloon, which is this secret like ancient city, which is from a different dimensional realm, I think.
Yeah, and
it appears once every 10 years.
It's pretty much like the unification of like all martial arts, almost. It depends on what you're reading, again, but yeah, Danny Rand, his father passed away, and through a series of events, he gets dropped off and or abandoned at Kunlun, and then he learns the art there.
Well, Danny Rand's dad actually discovered Kunlun
Yes.
years ago, like a long time ago, and then kept searching for it. And I think, like, I mean, I don't know if this is going to be the case in this, but like the plane they were on, they were traveling to Kunlun anyway. And that's where, like,
but
training
the plane
with them-
crash when that happened,
Yeah.
Dad passed away.
Right. And through his training, that's how Danny earns the powers and the title of Iron Fist, through his work with them. Let's see. So throughout it, we hear presumably Harold Meacham saying, "Hello, Daniel." Meacham was Danny's dad's business partner, and betrayed the Rand family, and it set up that accident to get them killed because he wanted full control over it.
Yeah. And in the comics, I don't know if they're going to do this in the show, so spoiler warning for the comics, but the comics like 40 years old. When Danny finds his father's killer, the betrayer, he has no legs, and he's been miserable his whole life, and he's been waiting for Iron Fist to come and kill him. Mm-hmm. And Iron Fist has so much pity for him that he just doesn't kill him.
Yeah.
He's just, I can't, like, he's had a horrible life. Me ending it.
Karma got him.
Yeah, karma got him already.
He would be doing him a favor by killing him
Yes.
instead of letting him suffer, which might not be I could see.
Well,
Danny
it wasn't.
killing him.
It's not so much because it's not so much as like letting him suffer. It's just the fact that he just saw how much distraught he was in. Again, it depends what comic you're reading. Like a lot of things, if you look at the pages from like the very from the when Iron Fist was still a young series, he almost looks as if he feels sorry for him.
Right. Some other things. I'm expecting a cameo at least by Madame Gao from Daredevil. Given her connection to the Steel Serpent symbol, which she has stamped on her heroine. Sorry, Connor. Like, this basement just has some retardation effect on my head.
Yeah, it's usually how it happens.
I think he might have drugged me.
Are you falling asleep right now?
Yeah, I am getting a little drowsy.
Oh, okay. Working a little too late, but
yeah. Given she uses the Steel Serpent symbol on her heroine, which is also a signifier of Iron Fist, and then the Steel Serpent villain, I think, is some other guy, like his counterpart. I forget exactly. I don't know too much about him, and I'm also expecting some involvement from the Hand. Again, carrying over from Daredevil.
Because they weren't ultimately dead.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And there is some mysticism to them, and there is connection between the Hand and Iron Fist anyway.
Already.
That'll be out probably early next year, like first quarter, like around April maybe, like where Daredevil normally is released.
Yeah.
Moving on to, you know what, speaking of Daredevil, we'll just get this out of the way quick. It was renewed for a season 3, probably be 2018 release. Late 2018, I'm sure.
Daredevil
Depending.
season 3.
Daredevil season 3.
Yeah, because of the Defenders.
Because there's the Defenders and Jessica Jones season 2.
Yeah.
And
So we're going to be waiting a long time.
Yeah, which is fine because, we need that. I really want the Defenders. I want Jessica Jones. We had 2 seasons of Daredevil already. I can handle being delayed for seasons of these other things.
Yeah. As long as they're good.
As long as they're good. Exactly. Going into Defenders, it was pretty much a title teaser that used some footage from the other shows that have been shown so far.
But there was I don't know. It was from Daredevil season 2. Actually, how do you protect the city if you can't protect yourselves?
Well, no. That isn't.
That's not.
Stick did say something very similar in that, but in this we hear Stick. Yes, he's going to be very involved, which he should be. He goes, "You think you 4 can save New York? You can't even save yourselves." So he applies it to them. Those 4 being Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist. they're going to be the main team of Defenders. I'm expecting Punisher to show up because of how well received John Bernthal's Punisher was.
Right.
And they announced a Punisher series, so I'm expecting that. I definitely expect him to be somewhere in there. It'll probably be next fall, if anything. I'm expecting it after Iron Fist, unless they do Jessica Jones Season 2 next fall and then Defenders in the spring of 2018. Which, who knows? Right now, the most likely villains are the resurrected / possessed Elektra that we saw at the end of Season 2 when the Hand recovered her body and put her in that like Genesis chamber or Generation chamber, however that transformative chamber that they were trying to bring the Beast with, or whatever they called it. Like the Hand was trying to bring like that demon based thing. Another thing I've been seeing around, like rumors around, is Mephisto.
See, now that's where I have the issue.
I don't think
it's going to be Mephisto at all. I think it's going to be Elektra in the Hand.
Yeah, I think Mephisto is more of a movie villain.
100% movie
Unless
villain.
they do a straight like Ghost Rider series.
Well, Ghost Rider is going to be appearing in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Not
Johnny
Reyes,
Yeah.
Ghost Rider, not Johnny Blaze.
No, not Johnny Blaze, yeah.
But still, that doesn't mean they can't do another Ghost Rider, even though... not that I mind Robbie Reyes. Apparently, he only had 12 issues, but apparently it was a good 12 issues. But Norman Reedus wanted to be Johnny Blaze for a Netflix series, and I think that would have been really cool.
That would have been really cool.
But yeah, I think Mephisto will more likely be a movie villain, so I'm expecting Elektra as the Black Sky weapon or whatever they started
preaching,
performing on her.
Yeah.
Once they recovered her body, I think that it's going to be like the villain of the Defenders. Let's see, a Punisher series is currently in early production. No estimated like timetable on when it's going to premiere. No word on what the season's going to entail, like what the story's going to be on, who else will appear.
No
clue. That's John Bernthal just said, "Hey, we're working on it." So definitely won't be till after season 2 of
Jessica Jones.
Why can't I talk? Jessica Jones. Probably not till after Daredevil season 3. I'm sure Luke Cage and or Iron Fist will both get renewed for another season. So maybe before one of those second seasons or after. It won't be for a while.
It's weird scheduling, but there's also so much going on.
At the earliest, it'll be 2019, I feel like, to see a Punisher series.
Oh,
at the
earliest. Yeah.
Unless Netflix decides to do 3 Marvel series a year, which there's no plans for that now.
They might not have the budget for it.
They might not have the budget for it, and just because Marvel's doing 3 movies a year now doesn't mean that it'll carry over to other things.
No.
The movies can't afford to because they make 5
billions,
times. They make hundreds and hundreds of millions or billions of dollars. All right, so going to the last Marvel series, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Connor, you really need to give it another shot.
I know. I didn't like the first season, and I know
you didn't even finish the first season.
I didn't. I'm sorry.
You didn't. Yes, the first half of the first season is It
was pretty garbage.
Yes. Some weren't garbage, but it really, really picks up in the second half and gets nonstop amazing from there.
Yeah, that's what everyone says. You're not the first person to tell me yo, you have to skip by those. You have to skip by those episodes because then it gets amazingly good. Mm-hmm. I've heard people say people talk better about it than you have. Not saying you don't love it, but that's why I just gotta get around to it.
Yeah, all 3 seasons are on Netflix. It's awesome, really worth it. They do some really cool stuff that they don't do in the movies, or put in some B characters that you wouldn't expect to see in a movie, and they do incorporate some really cool stuff. So not a lot has come out about the new season. It got moved to the 10 o'clock time slot, which a lot of people thought was a sign that it's going to be canceled, like Agent Carter was which I'm still disappointed Agent Carter was canceled. But the producer said it's because the season's going darker and they're able to get away with more at 10 o'clock than the 9 o'clock slot.
Yeah, fucking FCC.
Yeah. Which, if they make it work, that's fine. I don't care.
All right.
It was just nice watching Flash at 8, then S.H.I.E.L.D. at 9. But, do what you got to do. And we mentioned it. A huge announcement from Comic-Con that a Ghost Rider will appear this season. And it'll be Robbie Reyes.
The third Ghost Rider.
Yes. The third, the newest, and
The one with the
shortest.
Yeah.
He's got, like, the mask.
Right.
And he's got that sweet car. They revealed the car at Comic-Con. It looks badass.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that. And along with him and then the events of Doctor Strange, we're going to see some mystic elements incorporated into the season. In season 2, we saw Inhumans and aliens and stuff introduced and carried on to season 3. So now that mysticism being incorporated into the MCU, we'll see that. There will be, movies will affect the show as usual. Probably see some more Inhumans, but I don't think Inhumans are going to be the focus again because
They have their movie.
Well, if the movie, ever gets happened, but they already did, like, the second half of season 2 was all Inhumans. Season 3 was all Inhumans. So I think that they kind of like, they're not going to be the focus anymore.
Mm-mm.
Will be some here and there that they might recruit or have to take down or something.
Right. For filler or whatever.
Yeah. And there's no confirmed villain yet, but given how season 3 ended, like one of the last scenes, it seems like life model decoys will be the villain.
Okay.
Which is a pretty interesting thing. Life model decoys are basically like robotic versions of different people that they make that just go nuts. And again, that's not for sure.
Yeah, we don't.
There's no official word on it, but given how it ended, it seems like it's the most likely thing right now. But again, it's 23 episodes. They could be the big bad of the first half of the season, the entire season with a lot of stuff in between. Who knows?
Is that it?
That's it.
We went through everything?
We went through everything. Only took 3 episodes.
Yeah, 3 episodes in 4 hours.
Not bad.
We got it.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
So Connor needs to start watching Legends tomorrow.
And Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Especially S.H.I.E.L.D. because it's better than Legends. But that, covers the entirety of like what we felt was worthwhile covering at Comic-Con.
What was your favorite thing about Comic-Con? Let's end it with that.
Ooh. That's tough. I gotta say that Doctor Strange trailer.
Okay.
And the Brie Larson announcement.
I have to say my favorite thing to come out of Comic-Con overall is probably Doctor Strange trailer too. Wonder Woman's a close second though.
Yeah, that trailer kicked ass.
I think if it was a second Wonder Woman trailer that revealed a little more, I would probably like it a little better.
Uh-huh.
But as of right now, I'm with you. Doctor Strange, number 1. Least favorite, Justice League.
Yeah. We get how you feel about that. But yeah, what were your guys' favorite moments from Comic-Con? Favorite trailers, any announcements, whatever. You have any questions about the stuff that was announced? I think we should steal something that our friends in the Live from Middle Urinal do and take email questions.
Let's do it.
So you can email us at awesomesundayshow@gmail.com. Email us any questions. If you want to tell us to go fuck off, say nice things, give us tips or whatever. You want to be a sponsor. You want to contribute to our Comic-Con fund.
Yeah, contribute to the Comic-Con fund.
Email us
fund, please.
At Awesome Sunday Show or message us on Facebook. Either one. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we will communicate back.
Yeah. Promise. Guarantee that we'll answer you within 24 hours.
Yep.
And then we'll, talk about it on the show too. We're going to see Suicide Squad this week, as we said in the last 2 episodes. So expect a review on that. I think we might also be doing a Stranger Things review this
Yeah,
week.
we're doing the Stranger Things review.
If you haven't watched that yet, it's Netflix's newest show. It's 8 episodes.
Mhm.
Just watch it. It's so fucking good.
It's really good. We also have Poeta coming back on soon too.
Right.
They're going to be coming on. They have an announcement to do, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, guys. So remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, download on Podbean and iTunes, rate us on iTunes.
Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Facebook, it's just Awesome Sunday Show. Twitter, our Twitter handle is at Awesome Sun Show. And if you want to follow our individual Twitters, I'm at Less Than Connor.
I'm at Rick Pat Mick.
And Pat, you have anything else you want to lead off with, or?
Thank you to those almost 3,300 people who have liked our Facebook page. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
We love it, and we appreciate you.
And thank you to anybody who's invited other people to like the page.
Yeah.
And please keep doing that. The more people, the better it is.
It makes it worthwhile.
Yeah, it makes it worthwhile.
All right, guys. Have
Take
a
it
good
easy.
one. Peace.